Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO Set 2507 Fire Temple. It has 1,174 pieces for ages 8 to 14, and it's from the Ninjago series, Masters of Smijitsu, and this set retails for $119.99. And before I continue, I would like to give a shout out to Silent Ninja DX. He's the subscriber who had requested that I review this set, so everyone check out his channel. And moving forward, here in the front we see the biggest Ninjago set that they have made so far. And this is really awesome. And here on the side we have the minifigures, more on that later. And here in the back we can see a lot of playable features, and the temple can split in half, which is really cool. So I'll talk about this set in more detail coming up. Here are the minifigures, and as you can see we get a lot this time around. We'll start with Cruncha, who is new to the summer 2011 Ninjago sets, and he's a Skeleton Earth General. We just take away his bone axe so you can get a better look. And there we go, you have a medallion over there, and a cloth that covers you know what. The head doesn't turn, it just stays there, and that's just one piece. Okay, and the shoulder pads are separate. Alright, and there we go, no details on the back. Next we have Zane, who is nothing new. He's the same old one with the same details there on the front and the pants. Same face, nothing on the back. But still, it's nice to have him around. It's nice to have a squad of white ninjas. And next we have Sensei Wu, who is also new because he's wearing a black robe this time around. I'm going to take away his staff because even though he's an old man, he certainly doesn't need it. And he's got the same face as before, where he's a little bit sad that I took away his walking stick. And below that beard, you can see the details there, which is really cool. And I especially love that dragon on the back. Very nice. Next we have Kai DX. And he has that DX in his name because of the uniform, where he has the dragon printing there. It's really nice. It actually looks better on red. And he's got the same old face. And it says Kai on the back, so this way you know his name, as if you didn't know already. And next we have his sister, Nia, who's pretty cool too. I especially love that uniform. It reminds me of the one that Chun-Li wears in Street Fighter. Although I do wish they painted her legs like a peachy color. That'd be nice. But, oh well. And there we go. No details on the back. And she has an alternate face, where she's got a mask over there. Although it's really pointless being the only girl in the set. I think people will figure out who that is. And next we have Lord Garmadon. And he's got a really nice staff. And that's probably the last time you'll hear me compliment a guy on his staff. Okay, and there we go. And there's his face. Pretty angry and freaky. And no details on the back. But he's pretty cool. And next we have Samukai, who is really awesome looking. You gotta love those four arms there. Reminds me of General Grievous. And what I like about him is that his mouth can open up, so it looks like he's barking orders. Okay, but yeah, he's pretty cool. And there we go. Alright, now to take a look at the dragon. All I can say is, wow, they did a really good job on the fire dragon. Check it out. There's the front. And there's the side. I like how the body is a little bit curved like that. That's a nice touch. And here's the back, where you have this tail here that can move like so. And you can slap someone in the face with the fire, which is not very nice, so you shouldn't do that. And the tail can move like that. Very nicely done. I especially love how they use these joints over here for the legs and the wings. You can always use more of those. And speaking of the legs, this is just a one solid build. Okay, it doesn't really move anywhere here. You can only move by splitting up open and like that. And there we go. And the wings can move up and down, of course, and they can turn like that, open and close. And we have the claws, just like the ice dragon. And I love how they put the seat over here. Okay, that just makes the dragon just a little bit longer. And we could put Kai in there. And there we go, very nice. And over here in the head, we have this ball, and they added some color to it. So that's really nice too. And you can shoot that by squeezing the head, like this. And there we go. So don't shoot at anybody, it's pretty fast. And don't shoot at your pets either. It's not funny and it's not nice. And if you look at my Ice Dragon review, you'll probably remember that I complained about the standard being loose, and it looks like they fixed that. This one looks a lot more secure, and you can adjust it too, which is a really nice feature as well. Overall, I'm really happy with the way they made this dragon. Very nice. I gotta say that this is probably the best one out of the four, with the blue one in a close second place. But that one has 4 legs and this one has 2, and I prefer my dragons with 2 legs. But anyway, the only bad thing about this one is that if you play with it long enough, this whole area here will come loose. Like starting here, and there we go, the wings will fall off and the head will fall off. but it's okay. It's not bad. Just as long as you keep squeezing here in the middle, you'll be fine. But anyway, let's take a look at the fire temple. Here is the fire temple, and as you can see, this thing is huge. It's really detailed, and I love the way they made it. Now, to take a closer look, up front and center, we have a sword of fire, and that is surrounded by flames, and this thing could turn too, which is pretty neat. Over here on the side, we have a cool looking dragon, and I'm so glad that's not a sticker. That's actually a printed piece, so that's awesome. Over here on the side, we have a statue of what looks like a dragon whelp. And then by the side of the door over there, we have a lantern, and another one. And then moving upwards, on the second floor, we have an area that looks like a perfect circle. Although if you look closer, they have these two cheese slips over here, which I think they could have done a better job. But it's okay, it's not too bad. And we have more printed pieces over there. And then on the sides of the building, and on the sides of the roof there, we have fire, which gives the temple a really nice touch. Now, before I show you the temple all around, I think it's a good idea to show you guys the stairs real quick, because you can remove this by pulling it, and it's only attached by these two pegs over here. And I think it's removable so that you can replace the rubber band over there in case it breaks. But then again, you don't get a spare, so hopefully that doesn't break anytime soon. And there we go. Now over here on the side, as you can see, there are no walls here. But I want you to pay attention to the green circle down here. That's what I recommend that you push to close the temple back up once you open it. And I'll show you that later on. Over here in the back, you can see that the temple is really well furnished, and overall it's really detailed, and I really love the way they made it too. Over here we have the platform where you put the dragon. I'll show you that later on as well. And then over here on this side, we have an area where you can practice your martial arts, which is really cool. I think that's a really nice feature over there. And then right behind there, we have a stand for the silver sword. And then over on the doorway, we have a decoration with two golden swords. That's a nice touch. And then on this side here, it looks like an area to meditate. I'm not sure, but it could be whatever you want. And there's a stand for a spear. So the first floor looks really cool. It's just too bad that the second floor is pretty hollow. But then again, that's where the dragon head goes, so I can understand. No one really wants to be near that anyway. And then looking at it on this side, it's also missing walls there. And there's another green circle. And there we go. Now before I show you how the mechanism operates with the temple, I think it's important to show you guys the platforms on the sides there real quick. And then I'll show you how the temple opens up. Okay? So here we go. Over here on this side, we have a stand that holds 3 swords, which is pretty neat. You just stick it in between those bricks there, and there we go. Okay? And we also got a nice tree over here. I think that's a cherry blossom. So I guess it's springtime for the ninjas over here. And then over on this side, I like this platform better. Okay, you got another cherry blossom. And over here we get a big drum and 2 sticks to bang it with. How cool is that? Okay, and there we go. And this drum is detachable. It's only held by that little peg over there. And just put it through that hole there, and there we go. Okay, so you can have fun with that. Now to show you how this thing opens up. The way this thing works is very simple. You just pull this up, and that'll open the temple for you. Alright, and that's how wide it can open up. And you just close it by holding these 2 green parts. You can hold it anywhere really, but it's kind of fragile, so it's better to hold it here. And just push it together. It's that simple. Now see how that operates. Let's take a look at the bottom there. See those rubber bands? That's how far they stretched it. Alright, and once you release this part right here, this will come down and these things will open up. And this thing is brought down by pushing this part upwards. Okay, that'll push this long piece here. And that's how that works. Okay? Now, to put the dragon through that hole there, you gotta have the temple up because the head does not fit through that circle. Okay, so let's just do that. And here it is on the back side. And while we're here, let's take a look in there. As you can see, there's really nothing to it. It's just a sliding mechanism. And it can open as far as this much. And now to put the dragon in here. And what you want to do is make sure your dragon is in this position. Okay, there we go. Just make sure his legs are down like that and his wings are facing down. Okay, it's almost perpendicular, just slightly off. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to place him so that his feet, or at least the middle talon, is just slightly over the edge of the platform there, which you can see right there. Okay, see how it's like barely over the edge there? Okay, and then you just want to make sure that his head is even with the circle there. And just close it. And there we go. Okay, see how that works? Really nice. And then to put everything all together, just put these platforms on the sides and you're done. As far as recommendations go, this is a really good set. And it looks really cool just from far away too. And it's actually nice enough to become a display piece. So if you want to put this on a wall unit and display it, it's actually not a bad idea because this thing looks really awesome. Now as far as the value is concerned, it's definitely at 10 cents a piece because $120 for 1,174 pieces is a pretty good value. And you get 7 minifigures in which each of them are worth anywhere between $8 to $15 on eBay and Bricklink. And Samukai is worth almost $30 just by himself. So clearly the value is pretty good. Now as far as the playable features are concerned, well, besides the 7 minifigures, you get a dragon, a temple, and 2 platforms, and a whole lot of weapons. So clearly you can play with this for hours. Now what's really unique about this set is that it uses a lot of different colors. You have pink, red, you have orange, yellow, and dark red over there on the dragon. You have some green on the trees, blue. You have tan, brown, black, and white, and gold. So clearly you can make a whole bunch of other things with this set alone. And that's what makes this set unique among other LEGO sets. And plus you get those really cool dragon printed pieces over there. That's really nice. And you can't get those anywhere else either. Now, this set is so nice that it's almost hard to find anything bad with it. But there is. Okay, the temple itself is pretty fragile. I don't like the way these are mounted. It's only mounted by one stud over there. So you might find yourself adjusting these pretty often if you hit them by accident. And as I mentioned earlier, when you close the temple, it's better to push the green part over here because if you push anywhere else, you will find that the top floor of the temple is pretty fragile because after all, the temple is cut in half. So there is some structural integrity problems with it, but it's really not that bad once you get the hang of it. Okay, and that seems to be it. Alright, so clearly this is a really worthwhile set. And that sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.